Wagwan Brazilian farmer Drew here. So a lot of people have asked me what formula I'm using to prevent and also treat this coronavirus that everyone's going crazy about. So yeah, I've created something that I'm gonna share with everybody. Don't know who's sharing what. I'm not really I guess feeding the chaos, so to speak. So I'm not too sure what you've researched or what you've heard. I'm going to give you my perspective based on what I know about the virus and the case studies that are coming out of Wuhan and China, and how they're treating it. So we know that it's treatable. We know that it affects elderly people and those who are have a weakened immune system. So what I'm gonna do is go through the plants and kind of just show you. I know that they're not available to everyone in every location, so you have to think about the substitutes that you can use. We'll kind of try to talk about some of those, and yeah, those in the tropics and subtropics globally can look for these plants because they are there and you can use them. So let's get to it. Yes, so the first plant we're going to talk about is this one. I have a separate video on it where I call it 𝐿𝐿𝐿 or Birophyllum pinnatum. Grows all around the tropics, also called leaf of life air plant. This is a great plant for the lungs. It's an antiviral, antibacterial. It's great for bronchitis and lung conditions, and clearing the lungs as well. So this is a great, and rejuvenating the lungs. So this is a great ally to use in your concoction. We will make a compound mixture. So I have they're all over the place. So here's another one. There's definitely a lot of other uses, but we're going to focus on the uses for the coronavirus. Then we're also going to talk about the plant growing with it, ironically. I love when that happens. Which is Biden's pilosa. We're going to see more. I'm going to come show you some more of that. So, yeah. Continue beat from the street. Yeah, putting myself in these now, so I am for real. Dang, sun is good too. Anyway, the next one I'm going to show you is Biden's pilosa. There's many species of Bidens. They're all used interchangeably. It's known by many names. This beggar tick, because it has these prongs on it. I don't know if you can see that. That kind of stick to you and animals, and that's how it disperses seeds. If you can get enough, a cupful, grind them up, a strong antiviral as a powder that you can use over time, right? So you can store these. But yeah, Biden's pilosa, also known as beggar tick, blackjack throughout Africa, and what else is your name? Spanish needle in the Caribbean. And so yeah, Kanihi over here in Hawaii. Has this one large leaf, two smaller leaves, kind of square stem, a little pubescent and serrated margins along the leaf. I don't know why I'm talking about plant identification, but has a strong floral scent to it, which is nice. And it's in the Asteraceae family, so you know, you get your little nice petals. These are good to nibble. Nom nom nom. I'm not going to nibble it right now because I'm making some in a tea, so there's no need. That said, don't do more than a handful of this to start. A little less than that probably, because it can make you feel nauseous. However, it's a strong antiviral. Biden's protects the cilia, the lungs, which are the wave-like structures in the lungs that protect us from foreign invaders and dirt and particles and stuff like that. Which the corona is said to attack. Also helps the spleen and lymph system, strengthens and helps protect those systems, and the lymphocytes, which are the cells that help us fight off infection. So this is a strong ally that you can put into your tea, right? So Bidens. It's also great for diabetes, for those with pre-existing conditions that make you more susceptible. This is a great plant to start working on that simultaneously, as well as good for coughs, and has a lot of other uses, but these are the primary ones that we want to think about when we're creating our brew. You can get a tincture of this, or make a tincture, or just use it fresh or dried in a tea. All right, cool. It's not the greatest example, but we have fever grass, also known as lemongrass. Yes, you can get this all over the world, dried, hopefully fresh. You just need one cutting from it, one stalk. So something like, so if it's thin, a couple of these will work. If it's big, like that one, just that one piece would work to go in your brew. So fever grass, works wonderful with the plants that we're gonna talk about, and we'll talk more about all of this in just a moment. Alright, our next one is Placranthus ambonicus, also known as Cuban oregano, French thyme, Spanish mint, Mexican mint. Has a lot of names. It's like a cross between oregano, thyme, and turpentine. I love it for cooking, but this is a great herb for warming and for the respiratory, upper respiratory area, and something that should about maybe 2 of these is plenty. It's quite potent. So if not this, then maybe 2 to 4 leaves. All right. I know that this doesn't do justice. I picked it 2 days ago, but this is Hyptis verticillata, locally known as John Charles. I wish I could show you the plant, but this is great for colds and the initial symptoms, the itchy throat, and all of that you may feel with the onset of the virus, and great for tightness in the chest. So this is another great respiratory plant, and complements fever grass, lemongrass very well. So you can do that, those two alone, if that's all you have. Yes, so I'm gonna show you a couple more. Of course, this one here, was so cute. Holy basil, right? So yeah, remember the mint family. It's used to treat a lot of flu-like conditions. It's antiviral, great for stomach upset, which can help with like diarrhea as well. What else was the what was it? 𝐬𝐢𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿𝐿 will Panetum will also help with the diarrhea conditions if they do develop. But it's basically great for like headaches, fevers, coughs. That's a great immunomodulator, which helps regulate the immune system, and it's an adaptogen really, so it works well with other herbs and supporting them, but also reduces stress in the body. So get you some holy basil, and yeah, and this is a good supporting herb for your mixture. The next one I want to show you, bam, mustard family, Lephidium virginicum, right? So Lephidium virginicum is basically known as poor man's peppergrass. Poor man's peppergrass. It's great for the lungs and relieving things like asthma, but also as just an upper respiratory infection, which is what this virus is. Great digestive tonic as well. It's anti-inflammatory. It's in the mustard family. Some people take the root, mash it up, and use it like a horseradish substitute. So if you don't have this, you can use horseradish or any other herbs in the mustard family. Fenugreek is a great warming herb. It's an expectorant. They're expectorants. So again, you want to warm your core, flush yourself out through your spleen and your digestive tract, so using like expectorants also through the lungs, and then sweating stuff out. So this would also help with that, right? It's also great for coughs as well. So this is a multi-diverse plant, just like all of them. And you can, okay, I'm gonna do it. Nice and spicy in the morning. Nom, 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 nom. I love this plant. It's one of my favorite plants. And it's growing all over the place. I'm not gonna say that. All right. So yeah, between holy basil, poor man's peppergrass, get you some of this. All right. Now we're gonna have a little talk. Cool. Yes, friends. Yes. So, you know, I know that this may come off as a lot and maybe overwhelming for some of you, but don't overwhelm yourself. There's no need to stress for this. Yeah, I guess I should say, as I haven't said it, that this is just herbal advice. You know, I'm not a medical doctor, not yet, but take it from how you want to, right? I know the things that I've been doing personally have been working. I think they could work for you as well. So just want to put that out there for those people who want me to put that out there. Anyhow, I realized that a lot of these plants are tropical, subtropical, right? So there are a number of other plants that you could look for in, you know, your area. I would like to say that generally for like a general group of antivirals for the SARS-CoV-2, or otherwise known as coronavirus 19, is Chinese skullcap, right? Or American skullcap. Any skullcap will work. So licorice roots, Chinese skullcap. For Cynthia, it's seen is a great antiviral as well. So any of those would be helpful. Honeysuckle too. So these are more widely available plants. Now there are other herbs that work more specifically on different aspects of the virus. So there's a protein enzyme that they believe is responsible, that acts as a modulator, that they believe is responsible for entering the cell. So there are herbs that help block that viral attachment. And again, licorice is an important one, skullcap is an important one, and then there's like Japanese knotweed and cinnamon. Okay, so cinnamon is great. Again, that also acts as one of your warming herbs, so it's antiviral generally. So you can use these as a multi-purpose kind of supporting herb. And then you have things like kudzu. So Japanese knotweed and kudzu are actually invasive plants, so you'd be doing yourself and your bioregion, if it is available there, a favor by utilizing them, and hopefully you can get them through local herbalists who are taking them out of the environment and not actually replanting them, so that we can use them as the medicine that they're, you know, there for. So they're invasive indeed, but they are here as messengers for us at this current time, to help us with this pandemic. So let's focus on that. Danshen, which is red salvia. These plants in this family, I think it's a Amaryllidaceae family, the lily family, are being incited for research on this virus. So they can be toxic and potentially harmful, but small doses of them, like a little tincture if you can get them, like red spider lily, which is Danshen, red salvia, is a great antiviral. Okay, so they're researching these on a potential treatment. Ginkgo biloba, especially for the older elderly folks, not just for memory, but it's a great antiviral and protects the upregulation or the expression of the virus in our genes. So it's a very good protecting herb. Okay, now there's something called cytokine responses, which is the talk in the herbal community, and basically what happens is any virus gets into the cell, it acts as if it were that particular cell, particularly immune response cells, the cytokines, and they're the things like if you cut yourself, it starts to swell and red up and stuff. They induce an inflammatory response in your body to help protect and start healing yourself, both internally and externally. So they're very important. And what happens is the virus can mimic those cells once it gets into it, and then so basically boom, it explodes and starts replicating intensely, which becomes what's called a cytokine storm. Some herbalists say you don't need to worry about it, but it's a real thing, and it can cause toxicity in your system and toxic blood, and you can inevitably become sick and say bye-bye. So just be mindful of that. And a lot of these antiviral herbs that I'm telling you now, and the ones that I've shown you, will help prevent that. A lot of these herbs are preventatives, which is important, and that's where we want to start. We want prevention. Prevention's key. So along with the other things that are recommended, right, like washing your hands and staying, you know, germs are great. I love germs, but you know, it's more of a matter of the surfaces that you may have come in contact with or people. So at this time it's kind of important, but generally you know, get in the dirt is what I say. Astragalus is a very important herb. I use that in my tea a lot. It's a great antiviral and general immune support herb, right? What else do we have? Yeah, cordyceps, the mushrooms. I don't know if I mentioned that, but any kind of mushrooms you can get, the reishi, the chaga, the lion's mane, or complex mixture of that would be wonderful, whether in tea or tincture form. So add that to your mixture. And yeah, bone set is said to be a great plant to use as well. I think I don't use that one, but yeah. Olive leaf is a strong antiviral. There's thousands of plants you can use, like thousands. So I'm trying to name the ones that I can remember. I have used, so, and probably more readily available for you. All right, Oregon grapefruit is a strong antiviral. And amongst so all of these, the thing is, these plants are so multifaceted and have so much benefits that you can't go through all of them, but I will put a list of these herbs maybe here or right after this, so that you can see the names and the Latin names, so that you can look for them. All right, I don't know if they'll be available anymore at your stores, but the health stores, but generally can order online, right? Rhodiola is a great one for reducing autoimmunity and increasing your immune function, right? So yeah, I think that's a good start. And you know, you consider this. Oh, there's other herbs. Okay, so what I'm doing is I'm mixing those herbs that I've shown you, and then in addition to that, I'll add some tincture. So hyssop is a great one, great for the coughs. It's antiviral, anti-inflammatory. And then I add some yarrow. I do like a teaspoon to 1 tablespoon, and sometimes 2 teaspoons. Just depends. So don't go more than 2 teaspoons on those dried herbs. So the yarrow, the hyssop, and then I add some marshmallow root to soothe the lungs and the throat, and you know, it's a great supporting herb. So, and then what I do is I'll add a little lomatium, which is a great herb, lomatium, and I would say stay away from OSHA, but if you can find ethically sourced OSHA, that would be wonderful. So OSHA is a great antiviral, along with lomatium. Those together basically stop the virus from entering your body. What else am I using? Astragalus, as I mentioned, and I do licorice root as well. On its own, just like in between. I don't mix it into my tea. And then I have my reishi mushroom complex, which also contains an herb called 𝐈𝐢𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿. 𝐈𝐢𝐿𝐴𝐻𝐿 is also a great antiviral. So if you can get Lomatium, Isatis, those are great. So we have a number of options now that you can use, and I hope oh, all right, so I'm also mixing in lemon balm, which is great. So fever grass and lemon balm, I'm sorry, lemongrass and lemongrass and lemon balm are great. Anything with those volatile oils is gonna help with the virus. Okay, I'm gonna keep it simple. So I add that about 2 tea bags. If you're doing the tea bags, add about 2 to 3, but you know, 2 should be good. 1 is not a sufficient amount for anyone, so that's just like an enjoying the cup. But you know, I definitely do 2 or more tea bags, so 2 is the minimum. What else? I'm just looking around because I can't think of anything more, but I hope the warming herbs, as I said, the ginger juice, if you can do it. Juice the ginger, smash it up, and then put some lemon in there or lime, and then you can do your turmeric as well. Stick to your warming spices if I haven't said that. So your curries, your chai spices, chai tea, cumin, cinnamon, yeah, all that stuff. So warming spices. And then you want to take these antivirals that I've mentioned, and then you want to sweat it out. So the yarrow, the fever grass, rosemary. Rosemary is also antiviral, and it helps you sweat it out, among other things. And you can use linden flower for those up north. So linden is a great as an antiviral, and as well as helps you push it out through the periphery system, sweat it out to the skin, right? So I hope that's helpful for you. I know this is long. I just wish everyone to relax, take it easy, don't be so you know, I know there's a lot going on, but this is something we can defeat, right? This is, you know, I think there's more to this than what's going on, but that's for another discussion for another time. So, you know, drink your herbs. Oh, I didn't talk about the amount, so yeah. Alright, so real quick, I am mostly an intuitive healer when I do it. So, and I feel it's my kuleana, my responsibility to provide this information to anyone who may find it useful. And honestly, I'm here for anyone who has questions or needs assistance. And I think it's important that we look after our elderly and our kapuna the most, right? So if you make this stuff and you're able to give it to someone who can, you know, benefit from it, do that. Share it is one thing. And I think my thought on this is that the way I make my medicine may not be suitable for the way you make your medicine. But these plants, I would say, make a compound mixture of at least 5 and more. The older you are, the more plants you should use, and the more strong you should make it. As our immune system and our body, our responses and our immune system degrades over time, right? So we're gonna need that extra support. So the younger you are, you can use between 3 and 5 herbs or so. And I kind of gauge it, you know, I know what my body needs. You have to just tune in and ask for guidance from the plants to get the amount you need. So I know what I need. Basically, I can tell you what that is, you know, I kind of go with a handful or less. Sometimes it's 2 to 8 leaves on something, like the leaf of life. You know, it's like 4 leaves, sometimes 8. Lemongrass, you know, it's a stalk, and I cut that up. That's sufficient. It gives enough of the volatile oils that I need. But don't worry too much on this amount or that amount. When it comes to dried herbs, like I said before, you could use, you know, 1 to 2 teaspoons and up to a tablespoon. And generally, if you want to weigh stuff, it's about 22 grams, so it's like a ½ ounce or so, right, per herb. Fresh material, you always want to do a little more. So that's how I kind of gauge it. And I've been doing this a lot, long enough, so where like when I grab it, I know in my head about how much, you know, the ratio I'm getting for me, and I kind of use that amount that I just said as a guideline. And you know, it really depends on the plant. Some plants you just need more of it to get the sufficient amount of medicine from it. So the soft-bodied plants, generally you don't need as much. When it's like more tough stuff, woody stuff, you need a little more, right? So yeah, just let it brew, boil it up, and then let it steep for at least 10 minutes, and then strain it and drink it. You can make the tea and then add your tinctures to it. I tend to let it cool down and then add my tinctures and then drink it. If it's too much for you, you can add a sweetener, but I do not sweeten my teas. And yeah, I think that's good guideline for anyone to follow. So friends, I hope that this was useful. Stay healthy out there, stay safe, and this will soon pass. And yeah, don't worry too much. Remember to love each other. This social distancing is one thing, but the product, the result of this is I can see the xenophobia that's arisen from it, the disdain other people have for other people because of it, the fear and the propaganda that's going around is the thing we need to move away from and bring back the love and compassion for not just humanity but for our earth. This is the key here. Our food system, caring for our earth so that we can be nourished and healthy when these things arise, and kind of diminish the systems and that create these kind of problems, right? That's what happened here, regardless if it's a conspiracy theory lab created thing or it's from the confinement of animals, which we've seen many viruses arise from. I'm not saying that's where this one came from, but you can, you know, do the research and make your own conclusions from this. The bottom line is we need to move more in touch with our humanity, our humility, and our loving and caring, as opposed to our distance and our opposition and our pushing away and our that kind of mindset that's created so much problems for us from the beginning of time, right? And these herbs, a lot of these herbs, although viruses are older than us, a lot of these herbs were created in conjunction with those viruses. So you know, the virus is a part of us. It's in our genetic genome of who we are. Like, we need viruses to survive. They are a part of life. We're not going to eradicate them. We eradicate them, we eradicate us. However, the plants are in a symbiotic relationship between those viruses and us as humans, and we need to connect with that and realize that. And how does this play out in the grand scheme of this natural world? And that's something we need to think about and move forward, instead of this attack and kill mindset. Although antivirals are great at doing that, that's not the premise of what treating ourselves is. It's to build our immune system more so that we are able to cope with this madness that's going around up here. But this is a psychological game, I believe, that will spring us into something greater in the future that is going to cause more chaos and more destruction and more distance between us. And that's what we can't allow to happen. Anyway, I know that's a rant. I was hoping I wasn't gonna rant, but I ranted. Granted, you got the plants, and that's what matters. So please, you know, find your medicine responsibly, use it responsibly. Don't hoard medicine. There's no need to do that. If you do, share it. If you share it, then you can justify that, right? So yeah, man, much love, light, aloha, respect, and be safe, y'all. Talk to you soon. Oh yeah, don't underestimate vitamin C and zinc. If you can do one or the other or both, that would be great. And mullein, get you some mullein. Verbascum thaspis is great for opening the lungs, and it's a great antiviral, as well as garlic. You can do mullein and garlic. You can mix it all into your tea, but mullein, garlic, marshmallow, and some sage. Woo! You'll be on your way.